由英國嚟到香港落地生根，呢個地方有咩咁吸引到設計師 Emma Wallace 呢？
I love the people, especially if I go to the market and I try out my basic Cantonese, and they're always so polite and pleasant and encouraging.
品嚐豪華鐵板燒，體會第三文化菜式嘅精髓，而美食點綴你嘅生活。
佢唔似牛肉咯，點解佢入口即溶嘅？
香港最大嘅魅力就係可以體驗到東西美學無縫嘅接軌，因為咁香港咧吸引咗好多唔同嘅人才嚟扎根，而今日介紹呢位設計師咧就係其中一個啦。
I always knew I wanted to be a designer from when I was very young. I think I just had it in my bones since day one.
Hi Emma， 你點解會揀喺香港扎根嘅咧？有冇咩特別原因啊？
Hi Joyce. Yeah, I used to travel here a lot in my early 20s when I was working as a designer in London. I thought it was a lively, bright, colourful place with a really interesting mix of old and new and smells and sounds and sights. It was wonderful. I was really excited when I first came to Hong Kong to experience all of that. And I love the people, especially if I go to the market and I try out my basic Cantonese, and they're always so polite and pleasant and encouraging. And you get into a taxi and the taxi driver always talks to you about anything and everything, and just the general happy vibe that I get from the people, I really like. When I realised that I actually wanted to have my own brand and start my own thing, I was just like, Hong Kong is the perfect place to be able to do that. Everything's on your doorstep. You can be at the manufacturing, you can be at the sample rooms, you can get to the fabrics, you can do everything here from design and to finished product. So I was like, why not? That's the perfect place to start something. What I like about Hong Kong and what's different is it's very convenient for everything. While it's like other cities in the sense of it's very busy, it's culturally diverse, and it has fantastic restaurants and things. When I was living in London, anywhere you went, it took over an hour to get there. Whereas here, everything is within an hour, and you can get to all sorts of different things, and you can do so much in a day and see so many things. I think the convenience of Hong Kong is what makes it a really great city.
通常你設計嘅靈感係嚟自邊度嘅咧？
Well, when I first started the brand, it was from things that I'd seen and experienced. So moving over here, seeing all the quirky mix of old and new, I really loved. You know, I once went to the beautiful gardens in Versailles and saw the flowers, and then I went on holiday in Thailand and I could mix those prints and the flowers and the colours, and it married together really well. So
you kind of use your designs to kind of tell your own story.
Yeah, my kind of travel journey, and as we've gone along, it's gotten more and more personal, and to this latest collection that's probably the most personal. In the travel that I've done around different places in Europe and different places in Asia, there is some, looking at some of the traditional costumes in places, there is similarities here and there. There's colours that mean different things but have brought different happiness and different vibes. And I think you've got to have an element of both, especially these days where everyone is very mixed. I have two beautiful mixed daughters, and I want them to grow up knowing that it's important to have a bit of all the cultures and a knowledge of everything and everyone, so that you can make your own personal choices on how you want to live your life based on everything you see, not just based on one type of culture or one type of place.
咁你可唔可以講解下你今季作品嘅設計理念啊？
So my latest collection I designed last summer. We had our first trip back after COVID to the UK to see family and friends. It was the first time for my family to meet my daughter. We had a few months of so many great happy moments and reuniting and fun times. And then halfway through that trip, my dad became ill. My inspiration this season came from a very, very personal place. We were having such a great time, so many happy memories, happy feelings, meetups and everything. And then about halfway through the trip, and my dad fell ill and was very quickly diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma, which is a very aggressive form of brain cancer, to which he immediately went into operations and treatments and all sorts of things that I've never even heard of or thought of. And I went down this very emotional spiral of going from having such happy times to suddenly having to learn about this cancer and face my own dad's mortality. I had to do a lot of soul searching to even begin to pick up the pen to design. I'm not a big exerciser and I'm not a big coffee lover, which are your main ones you can quickly utilize to boost your dopamine, but I love colour. You can draw on things that remind you of happy moments and happy times from various colours. You can just pick things that bring you joy, and so pink is a very happy colour for me. And I started to look into that and utilise that to basically use this collection as my own natural painkiller and my own therapy to help me through.
咁我頭先都見到呢條裙啦，你可唔可以講解下佢嘅顏色啊，或者佢啲 pattern 啊，你點樣揀㗎？
Sure, so this one is my favourite print from this new collection, and it's actually because it's very personal and it's a combination of things that I loved, my dad loved, and my daughter loves. When my daughter and I were stuck at home because of COVID, we'd lie on the grass and we'd look at the flowers, and we had lots of pinks and purple flowers, and she just loved looking at them. So this is kind of like a print that heals me, that reminds me of those happy times with my daughter and reminds me of my father because of the colours. So it gives me so much happiness and joy that that's my natural painkiller of the dopamine high and things that I get from it. So.
I can see you're wearing the same pattern right now.
Yes, I'm wearing them with me today.
咁呢個品牌有冇話有啲特別嘅 target audience 咁嘅？
I think our target audience is independent, vivacious women who believe in self-care and want to showcase their own style. And so we have a lot of pieces that you can kind of self-style so that you can wear it in different ways depending on how you feel and depending on who you are. And that is a little bit more adventurous, but not pushing you out of your comfort zone in terms of sexiness and things like that. It's kind of enhancing you and bringing out your best self so you can go out and have the best day.
Sounds like me.
I've been here a long time now, 13 years, so I've had some great achievements. Starting my dream of having my own brand is definitely one of them. Opening my own store has been another big achievement, and I think probably the biggest personally is becoming a mummy and having two beautiful daughters who I don't do the traditional helper in terms of childcare, so I'm a full-time mummy in childcare, but I'm also a full-time business owner with my brand, and I want them to learn about love and caring and be brought up by mummy and daddy as much as possible, but also see what it's like to be a businesswoman and be strong and powerful and be able to chase your dreams. So I feel very lucky to be, I guess, a mummy boss. That's my biggest achievement right now.
咁你可唔可以透露下你個品牌嚟緊嘅方向啊？
I can tell you a little bit what's coming there. It's actually inspired by a trip to Cheung Chau.
Oh, wow.
Where I saw some beautiful tiles and flowers, so you'll see some new prints coming through inspired by that. And then for the main collection, I'm still figuring out where I'm going with that, but it's definitely going to have a more deeper personal meaning that will support myself and support other people.
Really looking forward to see those designs.
I'm excited to show you.
Thank you. Emma 嘅設計充滿個人故事同色彩，佢希望透過佢啲設計帶正能量俾大家。
今日帶你去食嘅係第三文化嘅菜式，係由日本同美國嘅文化顯出嚟嘅。你估唔估到係咩嚟嘅？
第三文化？你係咪想講土耳其菜啊？佢係三大菜系之一喎。
喂，日本、美國、土耳其好唔同嘅地方嚟嘅喎。簡單啲講，就係帶你去食鐵板燒。
哦，咁咩係第三文化？
哈哈，呢個問題問得非常好，有人會解答你嘅。
So, little known fact about teppanyaki is that it is a third culture cuisine. It doesn't belong to anybody. After Second World War, American soldiers who were still living in Japan were homesick and they were craving a taste of home. Teppanyaki originally only featured seafood, but then we later on introduced steak onto the teppans. Then today, that is the teppanyaki cuisine that we know and love. Right, here we have our beef selection. Here we have 4 very interesting beef cuts for you guys to choose from today. Starting from right here, you will have the US prime tenderloin, the leanest cut of all. And then on the right-hand side right here, that is our Australian Wagyu ribeye. And of course, last but not least, we are a Japanese steakhouse. We can't go wrong without A5 Kagoshima steaks right here. So right here, this cut would be the tenderloin cut, and this big boy sitting right on top of the block would be the sirloin, the most luxurious cut of beef we have to offer.
Christian， 你點睇咧？
好，全部都要。
好，
唔該晒，
安排啦，
全部都要，
全部都要。
相信好多人中意食鐵板燒，唔單止可以席前欣賞大廚手藝，更可以為視覺、嗅覺同味覺都可以有豐富嘅體驗。德道番茄係一種甜度好高嘅番茄，幾乎一啲酸味都冇。Chef 將番茄去皮，再配埋海鹽，味道更新鮮，唔同層次嘅甜味充斥口腔，齒頰留香。I love the simple presentation.
Tokushima fruit tomato, you guys enjoy.
Thank you。哇！要試一試啦。點少少啲咁多嘅鹽。
呀，好似食糖咁樣。
係咯，就有少少士多啤梨嘅感覺咯。
係咯係咯。
係啊，跟住嗰個鹽咧係帶咗嗰個番茄味出嚟。
嗯。
如果冇嗰個鹽咧，就好士多啤梨嘅。
係啦，係真係好似一個 fruit 咁樣啊。
fruit 咯。
嗯。
哇！呢個
咪好 juicy 咯。
真係未試過，呢個係第一次，呢個好好食。
呢個番茄好特別。
Yeah.
We are a lavish teppanyaki affair. We meld the best of both worlds of the luxury and refinement of the Kobe teppanyaki and a dash of Rocky Aoki's American dream.
呢個北海道海膽 toast 將新鮮嘅海膽鋪喺烤過嘅麵包上面，鹹甜鮮味道，同時喺口中爆發，真係超好食啊！
我又想成個擺落口度，但又係好似太大。
唔會啊，你試下。
好。
入口即溶啊，同埋嗰個牛油味道真係
係咯，少少牛油味咧，
佢擺咗好少，但
喺個
係
底吊住咁樣咧，係零舍唔同。因為平時我哋食開嘅會有即係壽司啦，就會有啲少少味味嘅飯就放咗喺度，跟住就啲 uni 就放喺上面咁樣食嘅話咧，咁就好平時就會咁樣去諗啦。但係有啲牛油味，跟住喺一個甜甜地個包上面咧，咁樣去食咧，甜加甜咧，好好味。
就係佢有少少鹹喎。
係啦，
個牛油真係哇，同埋嗰個 texture 咧，即係一咬落去咧，個麥麵包係 crispy 噶嘛。
係啦。
個中間咧又好 soft 喎，跟住咧開始溶嗰個海膽咧又好 creamy 喎，真係好正。
Well, what separates us from other teppanyaki restaurants is that we are in one of our most proud establishments, the Whiskey Lounge. Whiskey is another thing that is also a meld of both cultures. Besides the Whiskey Lounge, we also have everything within the walls of this restaurant that screams third culture, mainly Japanese and American. The soundtrack we play in a bathroom, it is a commentary to a baseball game. And when you're in front of the teppan, you're listening to soft jazz. Baseball and jazz are both originally American, then made widely popular in Japan. And also on weekends in this beautiful Whiskey Lounge, we also have a psychic mentalist to entertain our guests after they've enjoyed their beautiful meal at the teppan as well.
鮮味爆燈嘅牛油鐵板龍蝦，榮登咗我最中意嘅海鮮菜式。淨係用咗鹽、海苔粉調味嘅龍蝦肉，再淋上龍蝦膏牛油，配埋蒜蓉包，龍蝦肉鮮甜爽彈，再加埋醬汁，真係食到停唔到口啊！
呢個就係鐵板龍蝦，跟住咧啲龍蝦膏咧，仲用牛油去煮，跟住咧就放埋一齊咁樣。
哇！個啖真係好香，好香濃。其實咧，我平時咧好驚啲龍蝦肉咧，佢好韌，因為咧如果個時間控制得唔好咧，佢煮得太耐，多少少咧，佢就會好似 rubber 咁樣㗎。係。但係今次咧，佢又滑啦，又好 tender，又好 juicy 喎。
又好鮮甜咯。
係啊。因
為佢保持咗，即係好似你咁講啦，即係唔會變成塑膠咁咧。係。即係佢嗰個 juicy 咧，佢如果太多火候嘅話咧，太熱嘅話咧。咁就會個邊就會好似塑膠咁，係。跟住個心就會腍，但係個邊係塑膠都係唔啱嘅。跟住個味道又冇咯。完美嘅。
同埋呢個汁咧，如果仲有多少少可以用個麵包點一點咧，好香。真係好香。好正。
Japanese teppanyaki originally only featured seafood on the teppan. After Second World War, American soldiers who were really craving a familiar taste wanted steak to be eaten and be cooked on the teppan. As time went on, that is now what we know as teppanyaki. And to combine the two, we also have a beautifully curated menu that featured both very fresh and fine seafood and excellent premium cuts of beef.
嚟到重頭戲鐵板燒牛柳 A5 62刀和牛柳，只係用鹽同胡椒調味，再經過鐵板燒到微微焦香，肉質軟腍嫩滑，牛味濃郁，入口即溶啊
！62刀和牛 A 牛柳。係啦，咁就你可以原味咁樣又得，用呢個柚子醋去食又得。呢個就係芝麻醬啦，跟住就有呢個蒜頭味嘅豉油。咁啊，睇下你想點咩就點咩啦。 咁我食原味先。
我都係通常最中意食原味，試下佢先嘅。哇！
夾一夾呢個
顏色真係好靚。你嗰個就 medium 啦，我就 medium
蒜
rare
頭。
哦，佢唔似牛肉咯，點解佢入口即溶嘅？
佢似牛肉。
no， 嗰個質感滑到即係 it's 好 tender 啊！
係嘅，係嘅。咁咪 A5嘅牛柳咧，係唔同普通牛柳嘅。牛柳已經好 tender 㗎啦，
係。
加埋少少脂肪咧喺裏面咧，佢仲更加溶喺口度咧，係唔同嘅嘢嚟嘅。你講得啱。
嗰個脂肪係 marble 得好好，因為咧佢成嚿肉咧好 even 啊，所以我先覺得佢唔似牛肉，因為咧佢真係成個肉都好快溶，好 soft。
我未試過牛肉同 wasabi，
我都係啊，第一次見到wasabi會配埋，
所以就可能
試一試先
點一點呢個蒜頭豉油。
如何咧？有埋 wasabi，點？
得意喎，係帶咗唔同嘅味道出嚟啦，係一定啦。咁但係嗰個成個 experience 都唔同嘅，係啊，會令到你係會覺得係溫和啲。佢已經係冇乜騷味嘅，但係如果係有騷味嘅話，可以辟走少少，
哦，
即係有啲芥末嘅感覺啦。其實一碟餸有好多願望喺度嘅，
係啊，
跟住有好多唔同嘅味道嘅配搭啊，個感覺啊，但我都覺得，因為佢煮得咁好咧，原味係最好嘅。一食咧就知道個 quality 已經喺度。
係。
好味。
好多謝你嘅 Christian，我好滿足今日呢一餐鐵板燒咧，可以令我感受到第三文化，令我回味無窮啊！真係正。
我今日咧都好滿意，每樣嘢咧都煮得 perfect。美味しい。
美味しい。Cheers。